Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Sat Sangat Ji, we're back with the 17th Charitr. And in this Charitr, Guruji starts off by saying, Adil, Band Saal Nirpsot ko diyo pathai kya. That, just like in the other Charitrs and the other stories, that before the mantris shared Charitr, the king, Raja Charitr Singh, sends his son down to the dungeons, Raja Hanwant Singh. So, Por hot ponaliyo sunikat balai kya. And when it's morning, when the sun rises, again his son is called out to the darbar of the king. Mantri tabihi katha uchari anka. Ho badyo poop ke param adhika jiye jaan kya. Then at that moment the mantris, advisors, they came to the king and they shared the next katha, the next Charitr. By listening to this Charitr, Guruji gives us a little sneak peek into the expressions of the Raja. By listening to this Charitr, the Raja actually, his param increases, within his heart. His doubts increase, how each story is, some are removing doubts, some are placing them to remove them later. So it's that kind of a scheme that's going on. Dohra सहर बदकसा मैं होती एक बुगल की बान ता सो किया चरित्र तिन सो तुम सुनो निरपाल. O my king, the advisors say, hey mere rajan, tusi ek sakhi suno. Listen to this story of the wife of a Mughal, who lived in this area called Badkasa. And Badkasa is an area within Afghanistan. And within that area, in the story, they say there is a Mughal and a Mughal's wife. So two characters were introduced to. Bisanapati ek chanchala huti Mughal ki ek. That the wife's name was Bisanmati. The husband, we're not told his name, but we're just told that he's a Mughal. And so his partner, his spouse, her name is Bital Mati. Jantar matar ar basi kar janat hoti anek. She knows a lot about spells. She knows a lot about jantar mantar. She knows a lot about dark magic, you can say, black magic. Adil ek divas tin lini sakhi balai kya. One day, she called over a friend. Sakhi means a friend. Par gayi tin main hod so aise aaye kya. Sakhi literally means like a lady friend. She calls over one of her friends, who's a female as well. And they make a bet. Kaal sajan ke ba keho chal aaye ho jaye ho ehe moorkh ke dekhat po kamaye ho. So she calls her partner, current partner, or her husband, a moorkh. She calls him foolish. She says that tomorrow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my husband to the garden, and right in front of him, I'm going to make love with another partner of mine, with another lover of mine. I'm going to make love with that second lover in front of my current spouse. So she makes this bet with her sakhi, with her friend. Dohra dutti sakhi aise kahe. Now the second sakhi, dutti means second. Her friend, aise kahe sun sak bachan hamar. When she listens to the bet, she says, "Oh, meri saheli, mere bhi bachan sun la. Listen to what I'm going to tell you. Pok main ho yar, so nar bad ho jar." That if you can do that, I can do something better. I can do something equivalent. And we're introduced to this conversation of a bet. But this second friend of hers, or this friend of hers, her bet of doing something better doesn't get really introduced until the next Charitr. So next Charitr over, we'll hear what she does. But in this Charitr, we're going to be focusing on Bital Mati. Yeah, Bital Mati. Chopai astachal suraj jab gayo prachi dis te sas pragtayo. When here Guruji kind of stops the Sakhi, the story, the Charitr that's going on, and they are giving a few values, one can say. to do with the moon and the sun. Yeah. So they say when the moon sets, when the sun sets, Suraj jab gayo astalchal. Astalchal means jado Suraj astlo ho janda. Astalchal meaning to sunset. Yeah. So when the sun sets, prachi deste sats prakteo, and then from the other disha, the moon rises. From the west, the moon rises in this case, and then the sun is setting in the west, and the moon is rising. Bhagavatin upajyo sukhaparo birhin ko saik sasmaro. This is a really beautiful value that Guruji is sharing here. They're saying that jere bhaga wale hunde ni, Bhagavatin means jere bhaga wale hunde a. Jere bhaga wale hunde ni, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਹਿਰਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਸੁਖ ਉਪਜਦਾ. Those people with blessed destiny, they get so much happiness when the moon rises and the sun sets. They're going to explain soon. The idea here is talking about a couple, a married couple who is bhagavali, meaning that they have love for each other. Yeah, that they do not see any other opposite gender to be greater than their spouse. And that's who Guru Sahib is talking about, bhagavali. Yeah, with great destiny. Only great destiny can you meet that partner who is loyal to you, who is true to you. Yeah? So Maharaj says, when nighttime comes, those couples, those bhagavali couples, those destiny rich couples, they get very happy. Yeah? Birhin ko saik sasamaro. But those that are separated from their spouses, the moon, the sas means moon, the moon's rays is staining them, is hitting them, is hurting them. Yeah, the reason is because when nighttime comes, a couple will get together. But if the couple is separated, then the same moon, which was supposed to remind them of that time when the wife and the husband have just each other and no one around, is now reminding them of that time. But because they are separated, now that same period which was supposed to give them sukh is giving them dukh. Dohra astachal suraj gayo rahyo chandra mandarai lapt rahyo piya triyan so triya piyan laptai. Guruji emphasizes the point. When the sun sets and the moon rises, both the spouses, the couples, they meet with each other, right? And this is a common analogy that's used in Gurbani as well when talking about the husband Lord Vaheguruji and the Jeev Roop Istri. We always mentioned this concept of Seja. Seja means bed, yeah, and the idea comes from a couple. A couple when nighttime comes, they meet on the bed. So we'll continue. उड़गत तगीरी रावत अथन प्रभा प्रावना पाए जानक चंद्र अमीन के फिरे बिताली आए. So when the stars तगीरी राव अथन प्रभा प्रावना पाए Janak Chandra Amin ke fire bitali aaye. They're giving an analogy here. They're saying when the sun goes away and the moon and the stars replace the sun, just like in a jail cell you have the Thanedar, the jail ward, you can say, and the Thanedar is replaced by another Thanedar, like because of night shifts and day shifts. So when the day shift ends, that Thanedar goes home and another Thanedar comes in. In that same way, Guruji is saying that just like in a police station, one jail warden is replacing the other jail warden. In that same way, the sun is being replaced by the moon and the stars. And that's the kind of shobha that the moon and stars get. Yeah. So Guruji is giving a creative poet analogy. Chaupai. आसो भोगन तिन माने चार जाम कटका एक जाने चौथे जाम सोए कर रहे चतुरन के ग्रीवा कुछ गहे. Maharaj says in the 4 phases of night, the 4 stages of night pass away when these Bhagavali couples are with each other in happiness. Dohra Nan Khan Ardan hit Din Dekh Jag Hai Raj Dujan Dalan Dino Taran Dostan de Hebekaj. And then when day comes, right, those Raj meaning here king, Guru Sahib is talking about those Raje. In this sense, you can take it to mean saints, those saints. Because, and I'll explain why, the attributes that Guru Sahib is explaining of this Raja complement that of a saint. Yeah? So they're saying that when day comes, these kings, these saints, they go out and what do? They do Naan. They take a Ishnan. Then they do Khan, they feed themselves. And then they do Dan. Yeah? Dan means they share with others. They give to others. They share what they have. Hit din, Dekh Jag Hai Raj. Those Raje, those saints, Guru Sahib is calling them Raje, they're seen throughout the Jagat. Dekh means to be seen, Jagat means this world. They're seen throughout this world to be engaging in these type of activities. Dujjan Dalan. Dujjan means those bad people. Yeah, those bad people. Dalan. Dalan means to destroy. They destroy those bad people. Dino Taran. And they inhabit. Taran means to inhabit. They inhabit Deen, Garibi. They take away their hankar. They inhabit Garibi within themselves. Dostana Dehbe Kaj. And their Kaj that they perform throughout the day is to destroy tyrants. Is to destroy evil goers. So now Guruji says Suvaya Jaan Pyan Picho Triyan ke Cho Badeo Ur Pitar Pari Anchar Dar ke Motan Har Durawat Jaan Peho Ujiari. Those couples that are separated from each other, especially that Istri, that the female who is separated from her husband, that pain she suffered in her heart is so much pari, is so heavy. Panoho pochit pritam ko tan kaise rahe eh chahat pyari. That pyari, and you can equate this to a Gursikh because that's what the analogy can be represented as in the spiritual world. That pyari Gursikh, that pyari Istri, what does she want? She wants to touch the feet of her husband. Panoho poshat. Poshat means to touch. Prita means her love. Pana means her feet. The feet. The feet of her love, she wants to touch them. Tan kaise rahe eh chahat pyari. This is her cha. How can she live without touching the feet of her husband? How can she live without serving her husband? This is the analogy Guru Sahib is using here. Talking about those Bhagwale, those rich destiny people, they have each other. But what about those couples that don't have each other? Then they suffer from bairag. So Guruji's kind of using this analogy. Chand chadeo so chahe chere lo chit det devakar ki disgari. And when the moon rises, Chand chadeo so chahe chere lo chit det devakar ki disgari. When the moon rises, all she wants is to see her husband. Okay? Pajang Chand. Chalo Pran Pyare. Now we're going back to the Sakhi now. Yeah. So that Bibi, Bital Mati we're talking about, who is the wife of the Mughal. We're going back to that story. So Guruji kind of just takes us out quickly out of the story to give us an analogy, and then now they're putting us back to the story. So she says, Bital Mati says, Chalo Pran Pyari, Fule Ful Ache. So she says to her Mughal husband, come, let's go to the garden. There's beautiful flowers and fruits that are blossoming. Depa char manu tare man sache kedo gir bane suke sudare sune kan aise na vaise nihare. You have not seen or heard of these type of flowers and fruits that are booming in the garden. Come, let's go together. Tehi baag hu main taroro chabaho rajayo tumai pog pavat kamai ho. I'm going to take you to the garden. I'm going to feed you all these fruits to your mind's desires. I'm going to make sure you're happy. Balam na karo prat hote pyare. Don't wait around. Let's go now. Prat hote pyare. Sabah chit ke dur kya sok dare. Don't wait until the morning. Let's go right now. It's probably the middle of the night. Let's go right now to the garden. And all your dukh in your chit, all your shok, all your doubts will be removed. Yeah. Ordil lei sahachari chatur so ek balai ka. So she calls forward a sahachari. Sahachari means like a servant or a maid. She calls over a maid. Koho pyarava saath ped samjhaye ka. She tells her a secret. Likh patiya kar dei kahyo tehe dijiye. She writes down a letter and she says, give this to my second lover. Ho kaal hamare pa kripa chal kijiye. Tell him that I'm going to the garden tomorrow, or by tomorrow, so by dayrise, by sunrise, come to the garden. Yeah. Kahyo pyar vehe as ped samjhaye. And she, in the letter, she explains the secret to her lover, second lover. Kaal hamare ba kripa kar aayo. Come to my garden tomorrow. Jab hai Mughal chal deho rukh chadai ke. I'm going to trick my Mughal husband. Manu chalengi. Chal means to trick, to deceive. I'm going to deceive my husband, right? And I'm going to send him up a tree. When that happens, ho tabai sajanwa milyo humko aiko. That moment I want you to come meet me. Before that I want you to be hiding somewhere. But when the time comes that I have my husband climb the tree and I do chal on him, I want you at that time period to come meet me. Raskas Prat Mughal, okay, Dohra. Prat Mughal ko la chali apne baag bilevaye. Raskas la madra chali hriday hark upjaye. So when it was sunrise, she took her husband to the garden and she gave him so many different fruits and he was so happy. Baag Mughal ko la chali ut nirpasutte he bulaye. Falan chaban ke nimit chadi birish par jaye. She tells her husband, hey, I'm gonna go climb this tree real quick to go eat these trees on top of the tree. Chart rukh aise kahyo kahan kart te kaj mohe dekhat tariya anatak so ramat na aavad laj. When she gets on the tree, she yells at her husband. She's like, hey, what are you doing? Her husband is looking back at her thinking, I'm not doing anything, I'm just waiting for you to come down the tree. She's like, no, I see, when I'm on this tree, I can see you, and there's another woman next to you, and you guys are making love in front of me. Have no sharam? Like, do you have no honor? Mohe dekhat tariya anat so. I just saw another girl with you, ramat na avat laj, and you're making love with her. Ramat means to make love, and tenu koi laaj nahi aa rahi? Are you not at all dishonored by this? Are you not at all embarrassed by this? Uttar rukh te yo kahi kahan gayi veh triya. And when she comes down the tree, rukh means tree, she comes down the tree and she's like, wait, where did the woman go? She's not here anymore. Ta jahe apo gato hoto adekaman sukjiya. The one that you were so happy with, I don't see her anymore. Mana ramyo triya anataso. The Mughal responds by saying, what are you talking about? There was no other woman here. I didn't make any love with any other woman. Ped yehe kon. I don't understand what you're trying to say. Charitr ehe rukh mein yo kahe baadi mon. She turns around, she looks at the tree, she's like, that's so weird. What charitr is in this tree? What Guru Sahib uses the word charitr here. Kach, what charitr ehe rukh mein? What charitr is there in this tree? Kahe baad baadi mon. By saying this, and she just becomes quiet, right? So she gives this impression that by sitting on top of this tree, you look down, the person who's down there, they'll be with the opposite gender. So it's a charitra she's playing, but she's putting onto the tree. Yo chinta chit beech kar chadyo brish parta rat mani triya nripat ke sut ko nikat balai. So he wants to go test this out, right? Ajmana chanda. The Mughal, he wants to see if this is true, right? So he gets on top of a tree, and then when he gets on top of a tree, Bital Mati calls over her second lover. At pukar kar durkhat te utro nrip sut jaan utrat diyo pajaye triya kachu na dekhyo an. So when he gets on top, he sees that there's another guy next to my wife, and that's they say here Nripasut, he's a son of a Raja, he's a son of a king, yeah. So he's a prince, yeah? And she's my wife is making love with this prince, right? And so remember, she puts the doubt within the Mughal's mind before that what you're going to see up there is basically an illusion, right? But she lied to him. And now he's up there and he's actually seeing the reality, but he's now he's doubting himself. Am I really seeing what I'm seeing, or is it this the charitra of the tree? Utaratiyo pajaye triye kachuna dekhyo an. When he comes down the tree, Bital Mati sends the prince away. And so he doesn't, you know, the Mughal coming down, probably has his back facing Bital Mati coming down. When he comes down, he doesn't see the prince there. Right? So he believes the charitra of the tree even more. Adil chal kaji pa gayo tehe aise kahyo ek rukh acharaj ko akhan main leho. He goes to a kaji, right? Because he's a Mughal, he's a Muslim. So he goes to a Muslim priest, the kaji, and he say, hey, I want to show you this tree. Take away my doubts. Like, I really want you to come and see if this tree is what it is, right? That when you go on top of this tree, you can see your partner making love with someone else, right? Dohera sunat bachan kaji uthyo sangali nijnar. So this kaji, he got up and he's like, all right, I'll go see the tree with you. He brings his wife with him. Chal ayo tehe rukh tehe tar log sang na tar. He comes to see the tree, but in his mind, he's thinking about lok lajja. He's thinking about the honor he has in the society. You know, he's thinking that this guy has come to me because he believes in me. Now I have to make sure that I confirm his beliefs, right? So the Kaji now is going to lie as well. Because why? Because lok lajja karke. Mara says here, lok sang natar. He could not take away, he could not be honest. He could not be tarmi, that Kaji. Chopai pehdanar so sab tin kahyo. So the Kaji told his wife, Ta pachite drum ko lahyo, tinhu apno mitra balaya, rook chade piya po kamayo. So he told his wife that when I get on, I'm going to go on top of, he's going to go, he told his wife that I'm going to go on top of the tree. And when I do, I want you to make love with another friend of mine. And the reason is because I want the king to see that. I want the king to see that it's true. Adil mohe mir jo kahyo sat mo janyo ta din te tin Mughal hit karmanyo tavan divas te kaji chero hai rahyo ho sat bachan so payo jo moko in kahyo. So that his wife only sat bachan keh liya na. So when he went up, the king went up, he saw that the Kaji's wife is now making love with someone else, right? So like to confirm the fact, right? And so for that reason, that Mughal, he now believes his wife totally, you know. Dohra kot kast syane sahe kaise dehe anang nak nehe nehe kijiye to taran ke sang. So that at the very end, Guru Sahib says that kot kast syane sahe, even if you have to bear upon yourself kot kast, so much heartache and so much pains, no matter what you have to do, nak neho neho kijiye. Neho means love. Do not fall in love with such a person. To taran ke sang, don't fall in love with such a person who is atarami and who is just out there for their own selfish desires. So basically, you know, everyone in this story, they tricked the Mughal, right? He went to his wife, the wife tricked him for a prince, right? Then he went to a Kaji, the Kaji tricked them for lok lajja, right? No one was shown to be tarmi, right? At the end of the day, who suffered the most? It was the Mughal, right? He could not even go to a religious leader to find peace. He could not go to his own wife to find the truth. He could not go to his own wife to find peace, and he could not go to a religious leader to find the truth, right? At the end of the day, he is now living in this fake reality that his wife has set up, right? And she got the Kaji involved and so on and so forth. So here's the end of this 17 Charitr. And the next Charitr we're going to hear about the bet, or the second part of the bet, which was made by Bital Mati's friend. Yeah. So Sat Sangat ji, Pul Chugandi Khima Bakshni ji, and we'll see you in the next video. Vaheguru ji ka khalsa, Vaheguru ji ki fateh.